See, I recently acquired this little gun right here. This is the CZ Bobwhite G2. It's in 20 gauge. I mean, it is just beautiful. Look at it. It doesn't even do it justice. And in this video, I want to review this thing. I have been searching for like the perfect squirrel gun, small game gun. And if you watch this channel very much, you know that I used to make a lot of squirrel videos before YouTube used to just started crushing my videos. And there's nothing I like better than to get out there and do a little squirrel hunting or whatever. And I was looking for the perfect gun. See, I had been for many years hunting with a little 410 that my grandfather gave me when I was like 10 years old. It was like a 1958 Savage single action. I've shot many of bushy tails with that thing. And then my dad gave me a 20 gauge back in the little 20 gauge pump, and I started having problems with it last year. It just doesn't want to feed a lot of the aluminum Winchester shells. I've always had problems with it. I think it's got a burr in the magazine tube. It's an old 870. You know, it was back, you know, when they were having machine problems on a lot of those guns, and I was looking for something new. And I ran into this little thing. I researched these for hours before a good friend of mine said, you know what, you need something a gentleman would use. I was completely taken away when I put this thing. If you've never held a side-by-side, so you may be wondering, Jack, what is the quick and lowdown on this? This is an absolutely great shotgun. I will say when you first get it, it will be a tad stiff, but that's any new double barrel. One, because they try to make them the fit like really tight, so as you use them they break in, they wear in, and it's just part of it. And if not, you don't want to just have a loose gun that, you know, years later you're doing this and it's wobbly. I mean, this one, I've had this one, probably ran about 50 rounds through it, plus I would just pull it out of the safe like every night or whatever and open and closing it a few times. And so it's probably been open and closed couple hundred times, and it's finally starting to get to where it'll just kind of pop open. I really like the idea of how this gun has interchangeable capabilities of which barrel you want to use. With two triggers, I can go with a tighter choke on one side if it's a long ways out, or with the other trigger I can use a more open choke if it's close in. I can put buckshot in one side, I can put birdshot in the other. I do think it's very interesting how we're switching back away from ejectors. This one does not have ejectors, it has extractors, which is kind of cool to where, you know, when I shoot, I can just pull them out, put them in a trash can. I don't have to chase them ejecting. Or if I'm sitting there and something other than what I want walks up, like if I'm squirrel hunting, pig walks up, I have the ability to go like this, pull it out, put a piece of buckshot in there, bam, bam. Or if a bobcat walks up, coyote walks up, I have the ability to change it out quietly and not worry about it going ping, you know. And I thought that was very interesting. It's got a very elegant grip on it. I like this English style straight grip. This is something my wife would pick up and be impressed. It fits her. The safety does not flip back on safe when you reload. You have to manually do it. I like that way I can control it. It's one less thing I got to take out of the reload. Being non-ejectors, you know, maybe one more step to actually reload. It's gone bang every time I want it to go bang. It has pretty good triggers. Everybody like hates on the triggers on these things in the comments section. Well, this one, probably 5-6 pounds. That's fine with me. I don't notice it. Bam, bam. We're rocking and rolling. I personally don't want a hair trigger because I don't want it going off when I don't want it to go off. I wanted to yank on it a little bit. This is not a rifle. This is a point-and-click weapon. You know what I mean? When you look down the barrel, it is beautiful. It is just symmetrical. There is a tad glare right here, which I noticed, but you know, like you could always fix that with a little buffer or whatever. You don't notice it unless you're just in the sun or something, but it's not something I am technically worried about. Like right now, not even noticing it. So your fingerprints will get on it, but you know what? Carry a towel, live with it. That is the kit and caboodle. The triggers are glorious. I don't know if you can see them. They look real great. The safety, it's safety. It is a little Nothing I can complain about safety. I've thought about it, but it's loosening up. It looks real great. I mean, it was a one that's probably been sitting in the box for a long time. It's just, there's nothing really I can say other than it's a really great, beautiful little shotgun that I could see myself just riding on a four-wheeler and bam, bam. As you can see, it is absolutely beautiful. And when I acquired this, I had researched it and researched it and I've researched every double barrel out there. I wanted something very simple. But I did not realize, you know, coming from the world of pump shotguns and American, you know, just hacksaws of death, you know, pump guns and autos, I did not realize what a simple shotgun like this was like. This is, look, it comes in 3 pieces in a little box, and it is just amazing how it packs down into this little bitty piece. And there's something to say about the simplicity and the gentleman air of it. I mean, it is nothing, you know, just, there's not a lot of moving parts on this thing. It's just very simple. What's cool is, let's say I'm squirrel hunting, and this has happened to me quite a few times. I'm sitting there, I'm looking for a squirrel, and a bobcat walks up. Like, bam, right there. Or a pig walks up. I have a little chance of just doing this and being able to handle the situation instead of open it up, clink, there they go, or I have to try to catch them. I really like that. And I think they listened to CZ with that. Another thing, it cuts down on the cost, not having ejectors and springs and everything, but it's just very simple. This is just elegant. Everything about this is elegant. It's very just petite, but yet it handles kind of like a big gun. 28-inch barrels, 3-inch chambers. It can handle the bombs. So I'll say this is it's light. It's a light little gun. It is great to just carry around. You're not going to really feel it. It's not like carrying around a big 12 gauge or something that's heavy. I think it's a little less than 6 pounds. And I think it's right at that sweet spot. Anything sweeter might be a 28 gauge. This gun comes in a 12, 20, and 28, I think. I don't know if they make a 410. That'd be pretty sweet. Depending on what you want to do with it. 28 gauge is kind of hard to find ammo, but Walmart has been carrying it lately. And 20 gauge seems to just, you can buy big crates of it. It's not quite as hard to find. 12 gauge is everywhere and you can do anything you want to with it. I like the 20 just because it's sweet. And it does kick a little bit. Comparatively, it's a light gun, so that's what you're going to have. If you're shooting the light shells, you're shooting some, 25, 30, 50 rounds, you're never going to notice it. You put some geese loads in it, and you're going to notice it. Depending on how big of a guy you are. This one has got 28-inch barrels. I'm 6'1" on a good day, 185 pounds. Fits me very well. Feels good with it. I feel very comfortable with it. It swings great. It shoulders great. There's nothing I can complain with it. Very elegant feeling, like very aristocratic, gentleman-like, but not too big and bulky for like my wife's hands. I think it'd make a great female's gun. It'd make a great young man's gun. It's just a great gun. There's nothing I can say bad about this gun. And in a review, this is a totally positive review. If it blows up 500 rounds, I'll let you know. But I don't see it happening, and it works great. And it will get hot after 8, 9, 10 rounds. You'll notice the barrel's getting hot, but that's any double barrel. Whereas like a pump, you'd never notice that because you're not touching the barrel, whereas most people like to hold on to the barrel as they're firing. It did come with 5 choke tubes. Came with a improved cylinder, modified, improved, modified, and full. And I have improved and modified in here right now. It seems to work for most things. I can shoot a slug with improved. I can shoot buckshot with improved. And I can reach out there with the modified on a squirrel or a bird. And if I go into the big timber country or the big squirrel woods, I can go full improved full or improved modified. And I think that'll do it with some big number 6s or number 4s, and I don't think I'll be outgunned on about anything. Really think this is a great gun. I highly recommend it. When it breaks, I will let you know. I'm going to run lots of rounds through this thing at the clay range and at the bird field. And squirrels, you'll probably see me making YouTube videos this fall with the squirrels. So it's going to get its share of bushy tails. It does shoot a little above the bead, I believe. Now, how do I know that? Okay, well, I shot, 100 clays or so, 75 clays. I put some, did the old taste test on it, threw a clay out there about 30 yards, shot the left barrel, it disappeared. Threw another one out there about 30 yards, shot the right barrel, it disappeared. It broke both of them, so I will say it kills stuff where I point the bead at. Now, did I turkey paper test it? No. Maybe I'll do that later and I'll come make a video on it. I don't shoot turkeys. That both barrels are supposed to be, I guess, around the point of aim at 30 yards. Now, do I know they're perfectly on center? I don't know. And that is what usually makes double barrels way more expensive than like a pump, is trying to get the barrels to do what they're supposed to do. That is a skill. And I, have to test it. But I don't really plan on doing very precise shooting. I think it'd be a great turkey gun if you got one choke on one side for near and one for far, and whichever trigger you want to use, he's gone. I didn't want to have a selector where it's selecting the barrels. I wanted double triggers, just like the old classic stuff, the way I can control it. And I've shot quick follow-ups with this, with the triggers, and it's not a thing. It's really not a big deal. I think that gentleman's shotgun technology was perfect right here, and I think the over-under is the same way. I got a side-by-side because I thought it was really cool, and I think everybody should have one. And this CZ side-by-side is great. The over and under I'm sure it's great too, but there's just something looking down the barrel of the two. And that's why, like, most of these double barrels will pattern above the bead for the rising bird or whatever, and the barrels don't cover up your targets, and that seems to be about what this one's doing. I won't know until I pattern test it, but shooting some number 8s out there at 30 yards, I don't think that much is gonna bother me too much. So this has been a very feel gun. I just feel it, and then I hit the target. It just goes right where I point it. And the finish is great. The choke tubes seem to be good. It goes boom when I want it to go boom. It's just good looking, and there's nothing else really I can say of it. It came with a case. I'll show you the case. It came with this case, and this is awesome. This is the one thing I really loved about the double barrels. They break down in 3 little pieces, and they fit in a little case like this. And you can take it with your luggage. This thing fits in my duffel bag, or it'll fit in just about a big luggage bag, or it just sits in the car and doesn't really look like a shotgun. Put you a guitar sticker on the side of this, and people will never know you're walking into a hotel room with your little broke down shotgun. And I think that's kind of cool. Put you some locks on it, and it's very simple. It's not an expensive case whatsoever, but for $500-600, $700, whatever you pay for this, it comes with these, and fits in there very eloquently, breaks down, rock and roll. Some of the more expensive shotguns will come with a very fancy case, but you can get these little CZs for like between $600 and $700, depending on gun broker versus Academy. Yeah, I think it's great. Just fits up on the shelf. Little gun breaks down in it, and 20 gauge will do most things, out to 30-35 yards that a 12 gauge will. And now with shell technology where it is, you can do a lot of stuff with it. Now, do I think I'm going to chase some big old geese with it? I could, but I'm not going to. It's pretty light, and the big shells on it, you will fill them, okay? I'm just going to pull out the big 12 gauge if I go goose hunting or duck hunting, but this will be my dove gun, squirrel gun. Everything's small, and I wouldn't be scared under 30 yards to hit a deer in the face with some buckshot. But I, plan to just use it for the small game stuff. And that's what I really wanted it for, and that's what I use. That's what I do the most. Case comes with a pretty decent one for the price, so that's kind of cool. Barrels just go in the sleeves. And then you pack it in your nice little case. It's ready to travel. There you go. I've done a lot of research on these little guys. This is kind of when you get to that hump of the $1,000 mark, you start getting better, engraving and better finishes and everything, and that's what you're paying for in the expensive guns. I wanted something that was a workhorse that would do what I wanted to do and goes boom when I want it to go boom twice. It's got a fast follow-up shot and it's simple. My wife can pick it up, she can use it. It's just very simple. When my little son gets it one day, when he's 14, 15, 16 years old, it's simple. My wife can do this. She can open it, she can put 2 in, she can close it, she can throw it off safe, bam, bam. She can open it, and they come out. Very simple. Like a big pump gun, kinda is too much going on for my wife. Like, she's not one that runs a gun a lot, but this is very simple. She can kill a snake with it, she can kill a raccoon, she can kill a squirrel, and if she's got to, the coyote is dust. And that's what I love about this little thing. Very simple. My little 410, my little Savage 410, working the hammer, putting it down was a lot for me when I was young, till your hand strength gets in, and this is just takes that out of the scenario. Just, if you can do this, you're in business, and I like that. When you look at some of the really expensive guns, $5,000, $10,000, $3,000, $4,000, they usually come in a really fancy box with all the little gitch and gizmos. This one came with the socks, little room to place them in, came with the 5 choke tubes, and it came with 2 wrenches. And I don't really know what else I could want. My old shotguns didn't come with 1 choke, and I think nowadays they're starting to come with more chokes. It's more of a thing. Are they fancy chokes? No, they're just normal choke tubes. And you can always go to Carlson's or whatever and buy choke tubes that are whatever you want. But it starts you out with just about every choke that the modern person, the average Joe, is going to use. See, I'm just a simple dude, just wanting a simple shotgun to go shoot some simple squirrels. I don't need anything crazy. And if I wanted to hunt turkeys with it, I probably could put 1 choke on one side and 1 choke on the other, a near choke and a far choke, and I could probably do some damage with this little bad boy. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there doing it with 410s now, that with special optics on these cheap shotguns, and that's pretty cool. But this one is just simple, and I believe it'll fit most of the things I want it to do. Fits together pretty simply, and we're ready to rock and roll. Back together, ready to go on a trip. I have a nice little sleeve for it. Put it in the truck. No sense of skinning it up, but this one is going to be out there hunting. I don't plan on it being a safe queen. I let all my guns go to the field and have fun, and that's just the way I've always looked at it. So I thought about putting a sling on it, and what I've read is inside here is kind of hollow, and I don't know if it's quite thick enough in between the barrels to put a swivel on it. Comment down below if you know, because I'd really like to put one on this. But again, I don't know if I want to really scuff up the stock. I don't know, it's such a nice little gun that I just want to kind of leave it alone. This is just one of those guns that probably the ATF is never going to knock on your door about. It's just a simple, little, elegant piece. And they've been around forever. Side-by-sides have been the signature of a gentleman since the 1800s. It's got the quick follow-up shot. It's got the simplicity. They're just very easy to use. And there's just something about how they break down that makes my heart just like, that's pretty cool. Between that and just holding a cigar and talking about the special days in the field, it's just very elegant. I think that's something you get into when you get older. You start looking at fine watches, fine whiskeys. You realize it's not all about how many rounds it'll hold or what kind of, crazy ballistics it's got. It's like, does it do the job? Is it slim? Is it simplistic? Is it elegant? Does it have a touch of just... And if you've never held a side-by-side before, and this is something like the single shot 410 that I have, and I did not realize my grandfather recently squirrel hunting as a kid, than all the fancy guns that I've acquired. I don't have a lot of fancy guns, but this gun I think I like better than all of them because it's just so cool and simple. if that makes sense. I love that the safety does not automatically reset. It's up to me on when I want to do it, because you know, if you're trying to load fast, bam bam, and you know, you throw 2 more in, you go to fire again, well, safety's back on, and then it's another step to do that. I'd rather be able to control it myself. The shells go in, bam bam, the shells go out. It's a non-ejector, which I kind of like, and what a lot of people don't really think about with ejectors versus non-ejectors. When I go hunting, you know, I put them in, and then when I go to take them out, a lot of times they shoot out and I got to go get them. Or if I'm at the sporting clay stand and I fire, bam bam, and I can just pull them out and drop them into the trash can. Now here's the other thing that you don't notice with non-ejectors. I didn't notice until I actually had one with non-ejectors. Say I'm in the woods, and you know, being that it's a double barrel, I can have one choke on one side and another choke on the other, depending on what I want to do. Being double triggers, I can say, okay, he's far away, I'm going to go with the full choke or modified choke or whatever. If he's short in, I can use the other trigger and use an improved cylinder. Or if I want to put a slug in one side, I have the improved cylinder or cylinder. If I want to put birdshot on the other, well, I got that. As far as the wood quality, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I have accidentally nicked the front here, getting it in and out of the safe. And that is something to be, you know, I'll probably take it out of the safe once a day just to play with it. And this is definitely a gun you'll just take out just to play with it. It's just elegant. There's nothing scary about it. I mean, it's not an automatic. It's not some, you know, just crazy one politicians hate. It's just elegant. It's like you want to just put this in a case, show it to your friends when you come over. It's that pretty. It's like in between the stage of the really expensive shotguns, you know, over $1,000, you know, the Brownings, the Orions, the Weatherbees, the, you know, not even into the AYA category. It's just below the hump of the really expensive shotguns. But yet it looks good. It's something you would want to hand down to your son when he turns 18, because I think there's a few things that a man needs, and one of them is a shotgun. Put food on his table, to defend his home, and to protect his freedom. And yeah, it's not something you'd march off to war with, but if the raccoon's stealing the dog food, or if there's a coyote in the backyard, or if you happen to shoot at that short-range deer, you could knock him down still with this bad boy. And a 20 gauge with modern shells do just about anything you want it to do. Do just about anything a 12 gauge will do. And this thing just feels amazing. It doesn't have a lot of engraving on it. The Bobwhite does not have a lot of fanciness to it. It's just simple. It has a little design on it. It says Who Glue. And that's really it. It's just clean with some good wood. Has the English, it's got the English grips here. And that's really all I can say about it. I've thoroughly enjoyed this thing. It goes boom every time. It works great. Now, when you get it, it is a little stiff. What I did when I got it is I put a little oil. I took it apart, and right in here I put a little oil around where it fits together, because it is CNC machined, so it's pretty tight. The good and the bad of that is it's tight, but then it'll wear in, and you want it to fit tight. Just the other part of that is it's a little stiff when you first get it. So I would take it out of the gun safe and just open it and close it for, you know, 20, 30, 50 times. And I took it out, shot it about 100 times, and it seems to be fairly loose now. And, you know, I've got no problem with it. It doesn't just, yeah, it's starting to do it. Starting to just automatically open itself. But that has taken a little bit to get it to do. But I don't mind. I just know it's tight. I know it's pretty much new. But as far as taking it down is just so simple. I really wanted with this review just to like sit here and talk with you guys about this. And if you've been thinking about a double barrel or your son, this is a gun that my wife can just pick up. She can open it. She can put 2 shells in it. She can close it. She can take the safety off. And she can protect the house against whatever. She put the safety back on, and she can empty it. It's just that simple. And a lot of times a pump can intimidate your wife, you know, your young son or whatever. And I remember when I was a young kid, I had that old Savage shotgun, and I couldn't pull the hammers back on it. I had a real hard time until I was a teenager, 15, 16 years old. I got to where it wasn't a problem. But then letting the hammer back down when you didn't shoot always scared the bejesus out of me. But I did a lot of research on double barrels before I got this one, and I figured I needed to make a video out there for you guys that might be looking for one. You know, you've got the Stogers, which is, I think, a little below this one, and they are just plain Jane double barrels from Turkey. And then you have the CZ, which Huglu makes them for ZZ, and they seem to be making a step tier above it. Pretty, clean, simplistic. And then they have the Sharp Tail, which is the next grade up, which is a very beautiful gun. But this is the one just below it. This is the common man shotgun that you can pull out when everybody's sitting around the dinner table and be like, look at my little gun. This thing is so cute. So cool. I could just carry this on a nice Dove drive or a Quell drive around all the gentlemen. And it's a gentleman's gun. This is not a hacksaw of death. This is just something. It has a good finish. Now, how long will it last? I don't know. I'm going to carry it a million miles, and I'll let you know how the finish does. Some people say they'll wear off where you carry it. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the comment section can say whether theirs has done that. I haven't scuffed it with my wedding ring yet, which is common on a double barrel shotgun. But that's it. I just wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about this. If you're looking for a nice, classy double barrel, these things are about $600 to $700, depending on gun broker or whether you buy it at Academy. I searched everywhere for one, and they were on back order. And I think you can find them on gun broker. It's kind of like a little travel case. You know, a lot of people like to carry them in the big, sleeves, but I like the idea of being able to break it down. And yeah, you can break down a pump gun or whatever, but not like this. Like, it just goes down in 3 little pieces, and it's a cool little thing. I think that it's just something that every young man or even a woman would have, that you can go shoot some clays, you can go kill some squirrels. I mean, you can just go out with the boys. If I'm blasting geese or if I'm blasting ducks, I'm probably gonna go bring out the Super Mag, and I'm gonna throw some real big bombs out there. But if I'm just at the dove field, I'm shooting some squirrels, I don't want to make salt and pepper out of these bad boys. I just want to knock them out of the tree. And the 410 shells were just too hard to find. Here we go. And if I'm going out in the kayak and I think I'm going to get it wet, I'm going to use one of my older guns. But there's nothing super crazy about it. It's just a good, beautiful little gun that works and done well and doesn't break the bank. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Comment down below what you think about this little gun, or if you've been looking for one. I really looked at the over-unders, and I just didn't wind up with one. The Uplander, I think CZ makes, it looks to be, I held it once, it looks to be cool. I've never really shot a lot of over and unders. I just happen to get into the side-by-sides because I like the gentleman aspect approach, or I like the gentleman approach to it. Whereas the over and unders, it's the same thing. It's just the barrels are on top of each other, and a lot of clay shooters like shooting those too. It's whichever you prefer or would like to try, and I might wind up with an over and under too. Who knows? But 20 gauge side by side or over and under, it's just a sweet little gun. It doesn't scare you to shoot it, and it'll do a lot of things. It's really cool. See you later.